Hello everyone, and I want to thank you for joining me. My apologies for getting a late start on my first of many videos this week, uh, featuring retiring or already retired products. But I'm here now, and I have, as promised, I have 5 cards to show you today, and the stamp set that I'm featuring today is Very Versailles, which is retiring from the catalog and will no longer be available once a new catalog launches on May 3rd. Just to give you an example of a similar current product that you might be able to use if you don't have Very Versailles or it's no longer available, because to get Very Versailles, any of the retiring products, they're only while supplies last. But Ranunculus Romance is very similar. It has a little bit of script at the top, just like Very Versailles does. It's a little different, yes, but the feel of this stamp set, the Ranunculus Romance, is very similar to Very Versailles. So if you're looking for a new stamp set that will be available, this came out in the mini catalog in January. And it is available and will continue to be available through the new catalog as well. So just so you know that there is a very nice alternative. So let me show you I'm going to quickly show you the 5 projects that I have for you, and I'll do them one at a time. So there's one done in Petal Pink, and I'll go through these individually, but I just want to quickly show them to you. And this one was done in Mint Macaron. This one was done in a combination of Highland Heather and Fresh Freesia. Here's one that was done in Balmy Blue. And the last project is not a card at all, but it's a decorated ombre bag, and this one is done in Pale Papaya. So we'll start with the Petal Pink. And this one, what I did was to emboss it using let me see, do I have it? I don't have, oh yes I do. I embossed the card layer, and this was actually embossed on basic white that I ended up using my blending brushes to blend in some Petal Pink onto it after I embossed it. So I embossed it with this painted texture embossed 3D embossing folder. And that's what's great about the 3D embossing folders, is you get a really nice 3D effect. So that embossed image really pops up on the paper, and I took my blending brushes and blended in the Petal Pink ink on it, and as you can see, it really gives a nice effect. And then I took another piece of a white cardstock and stamped the script image with Petal Pink and the leaves in Soft Succulent. And I die cut that layer. Once I stamped first, and then I die cut it using the Stitch So Sweetly dies. So these dies have the scalloped edges. Now, unfortunately, this is going to be retiring. So if it's something that you don't have and you want it, you might want to jump on and see if it's still available, because as I said, the retiring products are only until supplies last. So the sentiment that I put on it was one that I downloaded from the internet. It's not one that's on any stamp set. And it says we're all just walking each other home. I just love that sentiment. The inside sentiment I did get from a stamp set, and it's from Bamboo Beauty. It says, "A true friend is the one who holds your hand and touches your heart." So that's right here. So that was a perfect sentiment, I thought, to complement the one on the front. And don't be afraid to stamp an image on the inside of your card to tie in the theme that's going on the front. Then lastly, I tied a piece of Petal Pink, Blushing Bride, it's what it is, Blushing Bride. Really nice grosgrain ribbon. This is retiring out of the catalog as well, but it's so pretty. and it ties really well. Some of the ribbons that we've had don't, are difficult to tie, but this one didn't. All I did was just literally wrap it around, and as you can see it on the inside, but it's such a pretty ribbon, and it blends with the cardstock. Tied it around and tied a bow on the side. So I hope you like that card. We'll move on to the next one, which is Mint Macaron. And for this one, again, I stamped the image onto the cardstock, did the leaves, and then did that little, there's a little image on it, up here. And I stamped that image on the top and the bottom because I had a lot of white space. And then once I was done with that, I then ran it through the stamp and cut and emboss machine using the time-worn embossing folder. It's, again, a 3D embossing folder. It's really nice, and it gives it kind of a time-worn look to it. And it just gives a vintage feel to the card overall. And then, so I thought I really, really liked that look. And then as far as the sentiment label is concerned, I got the sentiment label in an unexpected place, which is inside the Hippo Happiness. And this is the dies that come with Hippo Happiness, which is also going to be retiring. I wasn't a fan of the stamp set because it's two-step stamping. So why I ever buy two-step stamping stamps, I don't know. I don't like them. I'm not good at it. But the dies are fantastic, because you get sentiment dies. So these are the two sets, and then you get this third one, this other one right up here. They're so pretty. And this is the one that I ended up using. I used the smallest of these dies, and I die cut them. So this is a great one to have, and I may end up holding on to these for at least for a little while, even after they're retired. And then I used for the thread, I used the linen thread. And what I did is I used a school punch that has like small holes. There's some that have like the regular size holes, but this is one that punches small holes. And I ran thread around it before I adhered this top layer to the card base. I punched the holes on either side. I pulled the thread from the bottom up through both holes. So I took each end of the thread, poked them up through the hole, and on the right, I wrapped it around the card base, pulled it up on the other side, took the two ends and tied it into a bow. Then I put dimensionals on the back of the sentiment label and adhered it to this white layer, and then I adhered that layer to the card base. So that's how that one was done. And then on the end, so the sentiment, sometimes you need to know that someone really cares, just so you know where that came from. It came from Grassy Grove. Sometimes you need to know. And then on the inside, that someone is me. And then again, I kept the theme of the falling leaves on the inside. So don't be afraid to decorate the inside of your card, like I said. Card number 2. So now card number 3. We'll do the Balmy Blue. Again, I took a piece of the white cardstock, and stamped the script image in the leaves in Balmy Blue. And then I die cut it using the stitched rectangles, which are going to be staying in the catalog. They're being carried over. They're so nice. You get 2 different sets, right? And these, by the way, these magnetic sheets, I think I've talked about them before. I get them from Stampin' Storage. Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell something like this, so many of the demonstrators get them from Stampin' Storage. These are like the 5x7 sheets, and I think you get 10 in a pack. I forget how much they cost. But they come larger. You can get 6x6 because sometimes the dies that we get are the 6x6 size, and so you can get the 6x6. Anyway, I can put a link in the description below telling you how to get these. It's so much better for your dye storage to be able to find them easily rather than having them flopping around loose in the case. I don't like that. And this is just a way to be able to see your dyes at a glance, and they're just for easy storage. And then they also sell these little envelopes, if you will, these little pocket envelopes. And I just put my dyes inside the little envelope. If the dyes come with the stamp set, I'll put them inside the stamp case. But if they're just individual dyes, then I'll put them inside. And so for this one, you know, I put them back to back, and so I can just flip them and see what else, you know, what else I have in the case. And then if you wanted to label, I don't label them. Maybe I will. I do have a brother P-Touch label maker. Other people have the Dymo label maker. I may just label it. Anyway, Stamp & Storage sells these pockets as well if you need them. And they sell larger pockets for your designer series paper, the 12 by 12, because that's always like, how do you store that stuff? So I bought a bunch of the pockets and from Stamp & Storage, and I really like them. So, okay, there's that. So again, and then here's this card. So then once I die cut it using the stitch rectangles, then I actually did pop it up on dimensionals and attached it to the card. And then I used beautiful butterfly brilliance, right? So I used the butterfly brilliance, this is going to be staying in the catalog. And I stamped a couple of images with black ink, and then I die cut two butterflies. I popped this one up on dimensionals, but I just glued this one down. And then the beautiful day sentiment comes from the very Versailles stamp set. Have beautiful day. And then I used the, let me see, what did I used the Stitch So Sweetly dies, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, I did. I used the second smallest die to die cut the sentiment label. And then for the gem dots, I used, these are no longer available. These are the Rhinestone Waves Basic Jewels that came with the special offering of the Wave Suite. And this happens to have, you know, balmy blue gem dots, and so I just put a couple of gem dots on there. Not necessary, but I thought it would look pretty, so that's what I did. So this is card number 3, and I hope you like it. Card number 4 is, this one is a combination of Highland Heather and fresh freesia, and the reason why it's a combination is because I ran out of fresh freesia cardstock, so I'm using Highland Heather. And so again, I stamped the images on cardstock first, and then I die cut the layers using the stitched rectangles. So it starts with Highland Heather, then a layer of white, then again a layer of Highland Heather, die cut with stitched rectangles, and then the white again with stitched rectangles. The little flower at the top was from In Bloom. Let's see, do I have the, oh, here they are over here. So I didn't use the stamp set, but it was a bundle when I bought it. And in the bundle came these beautiful dies of different flowers. And so I had already had a few pre-cut flowers in different colors in a little, you know, basket of embellishments that I always have near me. And I rummaged through it, and lo and behold, I had some flower petals that in fresh freesia, and so all I did was kind of glue them together, and then I popped it up on a dimensional and stuck it down just for a little bit of added interest. And then for the sentiment, I used the sentiment right from the very Versailles. It says, always thinking of you. But I masked off the always part with a piece of Post-it note and then inked it up with fresh freesia ink. And so all I got was the thinking of you part. And then I also stamped on either side of it this image right here. And then once I did that, then I put it on my paper trimmer and I cut it down so that I only had 3 of those on either side, and then just kind of trimmed it all the way around. Glued it down to on a piece of highland heather, and then trimmed that all around to give it a border, and then glued it to the center of the card. I did not finish the inside. I'm not done with it yet. I couldn't think of what I wanted to put on the inside, so I got to think about it. I may put a completely different sentiment, one that I've downloaded from the internet. I don't know. I got to think about it. But for now, I'm just showing you this is what I have on for the front, and I hope you like that one. This is not card number 4. So now the last one that I have for you is made with the ombre bags, and the ombre bags are not going to be carried over to the new catalog, but what we have are the in colors from last year, which is polished pink, the fresh freesia, the pale papaya, soft succulent, and evening evergreen. They're very pretty colors. I have to say having little gift bags was very versatile, and so I decided to make a little gift bag or show you that you can take those bags and decorate them. And I created a little handle on it using the stitch rectangles. I'm reaching to get it, and I used on the back, I just used one of the, oops, let me see, hold on, the smallest of the skinny dies, and cut out, the centerpiece. And then I took a piece of pale papaya cardstock along with the smallest die and the second smallest die, if I can get it out, and laid them together onto the cardstock to create a border. And that's what I put around the opening. So that gives it a bit of a finished look, and because it's stitched, it looks really pretty. And then I used the contour dies in the color and contour bundle, which is no longer a bundle, but what you get are these great scallop dies, and I used the largest one, and I die cut on pale papaya, and this is how it fit on there. I die cut that, and then I cut I measured out a piece of white cardstock to go over it, and that center section of that piece measures out to 4 5/8 by 3 2/8, and that measurement will fit right in the center of that and fill that space. And then I merely stamped right on that piece at the bottom, they have a beautiful day, with black ink. And I used a couple of the Genial Gems, which is in soft succulent and pale papaya. These are going to be retiring, won't be in the new catalog. So I took a couple of those gem dots and put them there. Then for the tag, I used the tailored tag dies. These are the tailored tag dies. And this is what you would get, and they're going to be they will be carried over. These are not retiring. They're very nice. And so I took a larger tag and cut it out with pale papaya, and then one for piece of white cardstock. And then I used some pale papaya sheer ribbon, and then I attached it by using my little school punch, the one with the little holes, and I punched 2 holes, because you'll need 2, not just 1. So cut 2 holes, take your ribbon and weave it through, weave both ends from the bottom up. So take it and then pull both ends through the hole at the top of the tag, and then tie it together, and it will stay adhered. And you can just write out your message on the white tag, and you know, you have a little handle to deliver your little package. Now, if you don't want to do that, you can certainly just fold it over or fold it back, and you know, put an embellishment on the back, or just put a piece of tape on it to hold it in place. But I wanted to do something a little bit different and give it a little handle, so I thought you might like that. So those are my 5 projects for today. I hope you liked them all. I'll see if I can put them back out here so you can see them all, how colorful they are. Let's see, put them that way. Oops, let me pull them down so you can see them all. Very colorful array of cards. I hope you like them today, and I appreciate you tuning in. And if you enjoy my content and find inspiration from it, please click the subscribe button. Doing that supports me and my small business. It's a fairly small act for you, but it has a huge impact on me. So thank you for that. And please tune in tomorrow for day 2 on my series of featuring retiring products. I will be demonstrating another 5 cards for another retired or retiring stamp set that I would tell you what it is, but I haven't actually decided which one it's going to be. It might be Free as a Bird. I really like that one. But it might be something else. So I just want to say for today, thank you for watching. Bye for now.